My goodness. The backlash on DiJonai Carrington. DiJonai Carrington is gone nuclear at this point. I mean, not only is the WNBA covering for players like this, they're doing these egregious things on the court that is not physical play. It's dirty play with a big fat D. Some of these players wouldn't know nothing about that. Anyway, with a big fat D, it's dirty. All right? And my God, and then when you call them out, the said player starts attacking fans.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving headfirst into a topic that has not only set the WNBA ablaze, but has sparked a furious debate about the very nature of competition itself. We're talking about the blurred, often dangerous, line between aggressive, hard-nosed play and outright dirty tactics. And at the center of this firestorm is one player who seems to be redefining that line with every whistle, DiJonai Carrington. Her actions have undeniably earned her a reputation unlike any other in the league, and the question everyone is asking is, has she finally crossed a line the WNBA can no longer afford to ignore? You might know her as the player whose hand found Caitlyn Clark's eye in a pivotal playoff moment, leading to a visibly bruised and swollen black eye that dominated headlines. Or perhaps you've seen the viral clips of her piling up an unprecedented number of flagrant fouls. But what if I told you that her reign of reckless plays extends far beyond just roughing up opponents? What if her actions have not only jeopardized the safety of rival stars, but have also put her own teammates at risk? And, in a truly stunning turn, what if her off-court antics have escalated to the point where even seasoned WNBA referees have felt the need to call for security protection? During a post-game conversation, this isn't just about controversial calls. It's about a full-blown pattern of behavior that challenges the very integrity of the game and raises urgent, undeniable questions about player safety in a league that prides itself on its physicality. Let's be honest, the WNBA proudly champions its physical style of play. It's gritty, it's tough, and it's part of what makes the league so compelling. But there's a critical difference between fierce, competitive basketball and outright reckless abandon. And right now, DiJonai Carrington is testing that boundary like no other. In just a little over a month into the season, Carrington has already amassed 3 flagrant fouls. To put that in perspective, most players navigate entire careers, let alone a single season, without a single flagrant foul. Carrington, however, managed to rack up 3 in a span of weeks, leaving a trail of injured opponents and furious fans in her wake. These aren't just minor infractions, they're high-impact plays that have led to injuries and sparked outrage across social media, with fans labeling her plays as trash, dirty, and downright dangerous. As one frustrated observer put it, she's done things this season that will get her disqualified from MMA fights. And frankly, it's hard to argue with that assessment, but the sheer number of flagrants, while shocking, is only the tip of the iceberg. What truly sets Carrington's pattern apart is the shocking audacity of some of her actions, particularly one incident on May 21st that left everyone wondering how one play could go so spectacularly wrong for so many people. The Dallas Wings were facing the Minnesota Lynx, and the game was unfolding as expected until Carrington decided to make her indelible and incredibly problematic mark. Jessica Shepard of the Lynx was on a fast break, heading for what should have been an easy uncontested basket. Then, from behind, Carrington came flying in like a heat-seeking missile, claiming to go for the ball. What happened next was pure, unadulterated recklessness disguised as defense. Carrington swiped not at the ball, but directly at Jessica Shepard's face. The contact was so violent, so completely unnecessary, that Shepard went crashing toward the court in a dangerous tumble. And this is where the incident escalated from controversial to utterly astounding. Paige Bueckers, Carrington's own teammate, saw the impending disaster and heroically dove in, desperately trying to break Shepard's fall. In doing so, Bueckers herself ended up getting hurt. Think about that for a moment. In her aggressive pursuit of a play that had zero chance of being clean, Carrington managed to injure an opponent and force her own teammate into a perilous injury-risking position. The aftermath on social media was immediate and brutal. Fans rightly called it a trash play from a dirty player, questioning how many more times Carrington would be allowed to pull stunts like this before facing real consequences. The referees, recognizing the severity, called it a flagrant 1 foul. Yet, many analysts watching the replays argued it deserved to be upgraded to a flagrant 2, a harsher penalty that would have likely resulted in ejection. Video footage clearly showed Carrington coming from behind with absolutely no realistic chance of getting the ball cleanly, yet she still chose to make that dangerous head-high contact. As one commentator powerfully stated, the conversation should have been about how Carrington's reckless attempt to create a Kiki fan meme moment almost blew out her own teammate's knee. Jason Whitlock, a vocal sports analyst, didn't mince words after witnessing the play, tweeting a chillingly prophetic warning: DJ Carrington is going to seriously injure a player in the WNBA. His words rang tragically true when you consider that she managed to hurt 2 players, 1 opponent, 1 teammate, with a single impulsive, reckless move. This wasn't just bad luck, it was the clearest evidence yet of a troubling pattern, a style of play that sacrifices safety and control for aggression that serves no strategic purpose. But the Jessica Shepard incident, shocking as it was, wasn't Carrington's only controversial moment within a mere month of the season starting. How does one player manage to create 2 separate dangerous situations in a single game? DJ Carrington answered that question on June 4th during the Dallas Wings matchup against the Seattle Storm. The 4th quarter was winding down, tensions were high, and Skylar Diggins-Smith broke free for what looked like an easy fast break. Layup. That's when Carrington once again decided to make her presence known in the worst possible way. Chasing Diggins-Smith down from behind, Carrington delivered a hard hit directly to Diggins-Smith's head as she went up for the shot. The contact sent Diggins-Smith crashing to the ground in a heap, visibly shaken. The referees immediately called a flagrant 1 foul. Again, video replay showed just how unnecessary the contact was. Carrington had 0 chance of making a clean play on the ball, yet she chose to target Diggins-Smith's head anyway. One commentator articulated the sentiment perfectly. DJ, did you forget what sport you're playing? Do you know this is basketball, right? Fan reactions were swift and brutal, perfectly capturing the outrage. Viewers called it a trash play from a dirty player who doesn't belong on the court. Another fan pointed out the undeniable pattern, stating, "She's been called for 2 flagrant fouls for this exact play already this season. Horrifically dirty player." The criticism kept pouring in, with fans labeling her actions as thug play that crossed every line of acceptable basketball. It wasn't just about disrupting the play, it was about doing so with a blatant disregard for player safety, raising both hands and slamming them down in a motion that many argued was intentionally malicious. And if that wasn't enough for a single game, there was yet another dangerous play earlier that same night. Gabby Williams went up for a jump shot, and as she landed, Carrington's foot came right underneath Williams during her shooting motion. Anyone who understands basketball knows how this type of contact can cause serious ankle and knee injuries. Williams rolled her ankle and had to be evaluated. Commentators didn't hold back their criticism, with one simply stating, "This is reckless," while watching the replay. Comparisons to notoriously physical, often controversial players like Draymond Green or Dylan Brooks started flowing on social media. This Seattle Storm game became a tipping point where casual observers and diehard fans alike started asking the same question: how many more times is she going to be allowed to do this? The game proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Carrington's dangerous style wasn't improving or evolving, it was escalating. But to truly understand the roots of DJ Carrington's infamous reputation, we have to trace this pattern of behavior back to a much more high-profile incident, one that first catapulted her onto everyone's radar and etched her name into the minds of WNBA fans for all the wrong reasons. That moment happened during the highly anticipated 2024 WNBA playoffs, at the worst possible time for the Indiana Fever and their transcendent star, Caitlyn Clark. Game 1 of the first-round series between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun was supposed to be a landmark event, Caitlyn Clark's playoff debut. The anticipation was palpable. Fans had packed the arena, eager to watch the rookie who had single-handedly transformed women's basketball bring her unprecedented talent to the postseason stage. What they got instead, however, was an unsolicited, painful masterclass in dirty basketball courtesy of DJ Carrington. The play occurred early in the game when Clark was looking to make a pass. Carrington was defending her closely, which in the intense environment of playoff basketball is entirely normal. But instead of playing clean, physical defense, Carrington's hand came up with alarming force and made direct, undeniable contact. with Clark's face. The result was immediate and visible. Clark went down holding her face, and when she got back up, the damage was undeniable. Caitlyn Clark had a black eye, not a small bruise or a minor mark, but a full, unmistakable black eye that would last for days, a stark visual testament to the impact of Carrington's reckless play. The rookie who had carried women's basketball to unprecedented heights was now sporting facial damage courtesy of an opponent's dirty play. This wasn't just any regular season game where you shake it off and move on. This was the playoffs where every possession matters, where momentum swings can decide entire series, and where the physical and mental toll of such an incident can be immeasurable. Clark, showing the incredible toughness that made her a superstar, tried to continue playing, but it was clear the hit affected her performance and confidence throughout the series. When questioned about the incident, Carrington offered a denial that many found disingenuous, stating, I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her, so obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am. Her insistence that she didn't know she hit Clark in the eye, despite the clear black eye and immediate reaction, further fueled public skepticism. The Connecticut Sun went on to win that series, and many fans were left to wonder how different things might have been if Clark hadn't spent the playoffs dealing with the pain and distraction of Carrington's dirty play. The Fever's championship hopes, along with their star player's face, took a major hit. This incident became the unshakable foundation of Carrington's reputation as the league's dirtiest player, setting the stage for every concerning act that would follow. The black eye on Caitlyn Clark's face wasn't just a bruise. It told a story about the kind of player Carrington had become, but targeting opponents and injuring teammates wasn't the only way Carrington managed to create problems for herself and those around her. What happens when a player becomes so problematic that even seasoned referees need security protection just to have a conversation? DJ Carrington answered that chilling question after the Dallas Wings lost to the Chicago Sky on May 30th, creating a post-game scene that perfectly captured her toxic approach to basketball and extended her problematic behavior beyond the court itself. The Chicago Sky had just secured their first win of the season, and emotions were understandably running high in the arena. Typically, players and officials might exchange brief words after games, perhaps discussing a few calls or seeking clarification on certain plays. These conversations are a routine part of professional sports and almost always happen without incident. But Carrington, in her characteristic fashion, managed to turn a mundane interaction into something that demanded an unprecedented security intervention. Roy Gulbian was the crew chief that night, and after the final buzzer, Carrington approached him to discuss what she felt were questionable calls during the game. The specifics of what was said remain unclear, but Gulbian's reaction spoke volumes. The situation escalated so quickly, and Carrington's demeanor became so threatening that Gulbian motioned for security to step in. He literally called for a security guard to position himself directly between Carrington and the officiating crew. Just think about that for a moment. A referee who deals with heated players and intense emotions every single game felt the need for physical protection during a conversation with DJ Carrington. Fan footage captured the astonishing moment security intervened, showing Carrington continuing her agitated discussion while a guard stood as a physical barrier between her and Gulbian. This wasn't just unusual, it was unprecedented, a stark visual indictment of Carrington's alarming pattern of behavior. Most players, even in moments of intense frustration, manage to express their concerns without creating situations that require such an extreme response. Carrington's response on social media, however, made everything worse, revealing a profound lack of self-awareness. She called the referee's action a microaggression and posted, "Security when I'm literally having a civil conversation is insane." Her tone-deaf tweet demonstrated zero understanding of why her behavior might have prompted such a drastic reaction. From an official, fan reactions were swift and merciless, criticizing both Carrington's behavior and her inability to take any responsibility for it. Many pointed out the obvious. If you're acting in a way that makes referees call for security, you're unequivocally the problem, not the victim. The incident highlighted unequivocally her consistent pattern of creating unnecessary and volatile confrontations wherever she goes, whether on the court or off it. This referee incident became the final undeniable piece of evidence, proving that DJ Carrington's issues extend far beyond merely dirty plays during games. Her behavior impacts everyone around her, from opponents to teammates to officials who are simply trying to do their jobs. The evidence is clear, undeniable, and frankly, alarming. DJ Carrington has undeniably earned her reputation through a season of dangerous, reckless plays that put everyone at risk. 3 flagrant fouls in 1 month isn't aggressive defense. It's a pattern of behavior that jeopardizes player safety across the entire league. The narrative often pushed by commentators and even some within the league is that the WNBA is physical and players should expect contact. But there's a cavernous difference between robust physical competition and plays that actively endanger careers, cause black eyes, put teammates at risk, and necessitate security intervention with officials. This isn't just about a few bad fouls. It's about a consistent, unaddressed pattern of behavior that undermines the very spirit of fair play and professionalism. The WNBA now faces a critical decision about whether to allow this dangerous pattern to continue unchecked. The league prides itself on its rising profile, its incredible talent, and its compelling narratives. But this comes with a responsibility to safeguard its athletes and uphold the integrity of the game. How long can the league tolerate a player who consistently crosses the line, leaving a trail of injuries, anger, and controversy in her wake? The narrative is shifting. Fans aren't just mad at Carrington anymore. They're starting to question the league's integrity. Can you really promote a no room for hate campaign when you allow this kind of conduct to go unchecked? Is this the example you want to set for the next generation of young women watching? With Caitlyn Clark at the center of this media storm, the stakes couldn't be higher. She's not just a player, she's a movement, a generational talent who's brought women's basketball into living rooms across the country. The idea that someone can target her repeatedly without consequences, whether it's the eye poke, the constant physical battering, or the uncalled fouls, it's not just bad optics, it's bad business. The discussion has quickly shifted. It isn't just Carrington who is under fire, it's the leadership. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's name keeps coming up, specifically her perceived refusal to directly address Carrington's behavior. Carrington has racked up 3 confirmed flagrant fouls in just a few weeks, and by some counts, 2 more that should have been flagged. Still, no public statement, no fine, no suspension, just business as usual, and fans have absolutely noticed. They've started calling Engelbert out, accusing her of favoring select players over upholding rules that are supposed to protect everyone. The silence from the top only makes the frustration louder. This wasn't just social media noise. Former players and sports writers have added their voices too, and the chorus has only grown louder. The WNBA is facing its biggest image crisis in years. If a role player like Carrington can repeatedly cross the line with 0 meaningful consequences, it sends a clear signal, star or not, rules are optional. At the heart of all this is the question that refuses to go away. Would the league act, or would they continue to protect a player many now see as a liability? A few reporters have even gone further, hinting that the only way to restore trust might be a season-long suspension, if not a full-blown ban. Yes, a ban. That's how serious the conversation has become, and the fact that it took this long for the WNBA to even consider it has only made the backlash even worse. This is more than one player acting out. This is a true test of whether the WNBA can uphold the values it claims to stand for: fair play, player safety, and professionalism. And right now, the fans don't feel reassured. They feel betrayed. Every time a flagrant foul is brushed aside, it chips away at the integrity of the game. Every time the league defends the indefensible, it drives away new fans who tuned in to watch history, not a highlight reel of dirty plays. The WNBA deserves better than cheap shots, blatant recklessness, and post-game confrontations with referees. Clean basketball wins championships, not eye pokes, hair pulls, and flagrant fouls. As many have stated, if it's a disqualification in the MMA, it should be a disqualification in the WNBA. From the ponytail yank that sent a player crashing to the floor to the eye rake seen around the internet, DJ Carrington is becoming the face of everything the WNBA says it doesn't want to be. And the longer the league hesitates to act, the more it confirms what critics have feared all along, that they'll talk about accountability, but they won't enforce it. Now, all eyes are on Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Will she finally take a stand and issue the kind of suspension that sends a clear, unequivocal message? Or will she once again choose image over integrity? The clock is ticking, and fans, new and old, are watching very closely. What do you think about this situation? Do you believe DJ Carrington's actions are simply a byproduct of aggressive play, or do they definitively cross the line into dirty and dangerous territory? What kind of consequences should the league implement to address this pattern of behavior? Is a suspension warranted, or do harsher penalties need to be considered to send a clear message about player safety? Let me know your thoughts, your frustrations, and your solutions in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive important, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of the biggest stories and crucial issues shaping the world of sports. We'll be watching closely to see how the WNBA addresses this critical challenge.